Hey guys, today we're gonna do some railroading in Stormworks Build and Rescue. I haven't done a Stormworks video in a while and I want to do some railroading, so here we are. I'm still I really want a Sawyer Island rail network expansion, get more interesting rails here, better switch yards, better everything. I'm at Spikes right now. I'm going to call it Spikes. And the idea is to load these containers onto a train and ship them out. And you're going to see how much of that we can get done. I am on a live server here, and other players can join. I do not... I don't know what's going to happen there because other players do what other players do. And and we'll see how that goes. I was messing with this, and I mean, this train kind of looks kind of cute on Workshop, and I've basically rebuilt it, and I had to basically rebuild the entire power system myself. That just... yeah. So, we're going to start by pulling this into the yard. Now, on trains with a reverser lever, it has three positions: forward, neutral, and reverse. And the neutral is the safe position that disables everything. On this has, toggle buttons, actually the reverse. So we have to flip on the engine and take it out into the yard. That's all it does. That's all it takes to do that. As you can see, the engine starts up the prime mover just when it needs to, and we're good. So throw on the independent brake, and that's all we need to do there. So let's just spawn cars as needed and move on from there. Now this video, as a warning, will end abruptly. The game will crash, and there's nothing I can do about it. And one of the purposes of this video is to document the crash. When it does crash, it not only takes out the game, it does take down the server too, so there's no chance to reconnect to the server because the server has already crashed. The version here is 1.3.21, and just to get that out of the way. And I like these double weld cars. I forget where I got them. These are a variant of the one on Steam. I've basically added this controller here that's and it has. Yeah, let's see how to get into it. Yeah, it has all of that in it, and that's basically what controls the car and causes it to do what it needs to do. The notable feature here is it has a handbrake here, and you can see the brake is spawns disengaged. But if the brake is engaged, it'll basically depressurize the brake line on the entire train and stop it. So you can basically stop the train from any station on the train. What happened here? Alright, what am I doing? Alright, stand, grab that, throw the reverser, kill the brake. I shouldn't have left that on, but it's still on, so I'm gonna just slowly ease her back here. And we're golden, so we grab that, take off the reverser, apply a little thrust. Woohoo! And we're flying. Don't want to fly. Just trim the speed a little bit. Yeah, I should I think I'm mainly being propelled by the wind at the moment, and I want the car to be right at the end of the platform here. So we'll throw on the train brake this time, which will lock on all the wheels on all the cars, and I'll turn off the traction. The locomotive here is a prime mover up front here in a diesel-electric configuration, and it also has an auxiliary power unit back here. My voltage is still very good on the train, so I'm not gonna fire up the APU yet. This is also a popular loader on the workshop. The design by the original author has a single large engine back here, which has a number of problems. My version, as I'll show you. Let's just open this sucker up. No, not. Come on. Let's see. Let's open the hood. My version, as you can see, has a medium motor as the traction motor, and then buried under in a hole in a mess of pipes that's actually the electrical power generator under there, and that produces the electrical power and keeps everything powered up. So that's the control. That controller controls the generator, and then my standard suite of like it's got a basically the world-renowned auto clutch, and the throttle brake system is what it uses for the for all the gearing stuff. Oh crap! You can hardly get up. No, up there when you. Come on! All right. Yeah. When the hood opens, it takes part of the walkways with it, so it's kind of an issue with this design. It's kind of, I don't know whether I would have put it that way, but that's the way it is. So hood to 1.0, get in, turn on the key, go into analog controls mode. You can so I'm going to use analog stick here to control this. Yeah. It has very little fuel, but but this configuration is very efficient, so it can live with that fuel limitation. I think it's the wind that's pushing the wind is actually pushing the thing out of the lane it needs to be in to get out of here. It's actually a great deal more comical than it usually is, and I'm kind of a little bit embarrassed there. Now we gotta get over to the switch, throw the switch, and I have time of day locked, but the weather is on automatic mode. Okay, step 1 complete. Ready to load up the first set of containers. Now I have to ID the containers we want. Alright, Sawyer North. Let's that'll be our you see the train has to be loaded in the reverse order. So if I'm going to Sawyer North by way of Komodo, then we would load up all the Sawyer North cars. I can't do Sawyer South. Yeah, Sawyer North. I'd like to do BVG, but I don't. The only cars that can get up there are the. I think they're the. I'm not sure. It might be Crimwind, but those have an issue, or at least the version that I'm playing with, it has a issue that even though the loader cars look like they clear the tracks, they actually drag on the tracks and dramatically slow down the train as it tries to pull them. So alright, let's review. I'm not Sawyer. So we'll be loading a 3 for Sawyer North, starting with this one. As I said, the controls for the original version of this loader were much too jumpy, and this one is the way it is with this motor is just about right. And so that's. Actually, I'm worried about the train. It was expending a little bit of electricity there, so I think I'm going to turn on the APU just to be safe. Okay, APU is that key there, and it's not gonna do much. It's just gonna give me peace of mind. gotta make sure. Got a little light on the tip there, and I gotta take a look at that to make sure. It's not a terribly convenient light, but it's dark, which means the hooks are active. Alright, let's see. Reverse. Yeah, I guess the video's getting a little boring at this point. You're just watching me drag the loader up and down the ramp there. Now, I kind of boxed myself into a corner here because I thought, well, I got to get at the next pallet, so I'll just shove the blue one over. And I did that. Now I'm going to give myself a headache trying to get at the next one there, the black one. So I'm going to go up here. And without rolling off the edge there, I'm going to shove this one backwards into this row. And then see if I'm just gonna have to make a mess of the blue one just to give myself some room here. And then that should give me I think this is the last of the Sawyer North, which means I'll have to bring in a new well car, which will be the Komodo well car, and load that up, and maybe possibly a third well car. Yeah, there are about a dozen different ways getting that the upper deck can screw up, and fortunately we didn't suffer from any of those. Okay, now if I find another Sawyer North down there, I'll just stack it right there. But right now I'm gonna bring in a new car. Yeah, this train's kind of silly. Got to start worrying about the amount of kinetic energy we have at the moment. It's that much cargo. It's starting to become a very heavy train, and yeah, all my control logic for all my trains is on the workshop. I've made a collection of it, and it's all available for use here, and you can see it working as intended. Bring it up a little more. See, when I put the train brake on, it really does apply everything to all the cars. So that's the brakes right there. It's full lock at the moment. Now the wind will still push it around, but at least in theory, it's at full lock. See what this guy does now that he's joined the server. Let's see. So yourself, don't want BVG, Komodo. Okay, yeah, I want Komodo. BVG. Camdo. BVG. Okay, well, it's not too bad. I guess I'll load up the oil first, and I think that count is 4. Could be 5, but feels like 4. Turn the light off. Let's take a look at the yard here, see what's left. BVG, Sawyer South, BVG, BVG. Yeah, BVG's 100 miles north, and I have to use those cars which are very fuel inefficient, and so I'm not, as much as I want. Time remaining 102 minutes. That's new. That's new. I've never. That's completely new. I didn't. I mean, they've never been. They had a expiry time before. That's very interesting. Now the BVGs, if I'm limited to like, let's say 80 kilometers per hour, pulling the BVGs up north, and that's about 120 kilometer track in the rough numbers, maybe 90 to 120 kilometers. I could seriously run out of time on that. So that's an interesting thing to keep in mind there. Or if I decide to load up too many cars or too much cargo, I mean, I end up burning through my time limit just stacking containers instead of moving them on. Now, if I make it to Komodo without, if I make it to Komodo without crashing. Control glitched out there. Then I'll take a look at what the status of my Sawyer North containers are and see whether those will be running out of time before they arrive, and then see what actually happens to them. Now, like, if they're in a stack like that and they run out of time, do they just disappear and then everything goes flying? Or, I mean, everything around there was like the one stacked on top goes flying because the one underneath ran out of time. That's kind of new factor there that I'm going to have to... Yeah, I got stuck on that leading corner. Now what I have to do is I have to disable the bottom, and then I guess I could re-enable the bottom at this point, and then hope I can just try again and hope it doesn't lock at the wrong place again. So I kind of want to have a ground crew to fix it when it does that. Let's see, nice and slow, nice and slow. Okay, I think that's all I want from there, so I'm gonna turn off my... turn the switch off, get on the road. $262 minutes, 147. So I have a bit over 2 hours to get all the way over to Komodo. I might need that just to get on the stairs there. The ladder used to drop when it reached the end there. I'm not sure whether maybe there's a glitch. Maybe it used to be a servo that would drop the ladder there, and it looks like it's disappeared somehow. I was messing around there because I wanted to make a better door, and so I was cutting a hole in this earlier today, trying to and then angling the body in so I'd have room for a door, but sort of work in progress. Take off the brakes. All brakes are clear. Turn on the traction. Reverser's off. Let's get this show on the road. Yeah, let's just peel out. Unloaded, this train will go up and it will cruise at about 200 miles an hour. 200. Oh, that's a problem. That's actually a serious problem. But kind of on a curve right now, so I've got to see what it does. I think it'll get up to about 90 when it straightens out. Get a glory shot of the train here. Yeah, let's fire up the lights. Turn on the lights. Whoops. Yeah, there it goes. Yeah. Alright, I gotta start cutting throttle for Komodo. And cut to about 30. Yeah. Slowing down more than I should. I don't know why it's slowing down this badly. I think the wind is very high and against the train at the moment. Certainly not the brakes. Nothing's dragging on it. Yeah, I was messing around with the batteries on this thing earlier today, so I have to do a quick fix on this thing. Yeah, I don't want to block the yard right now, so I'm going to put the brakes on. Turn that off, turn that off. Be in position to reverse, and I'll go repair that design before doing anything else, 'cause that's a problem. Yep, there's the problem. Might as well fix the label too. Instrument number 1 is the fix that too. Save. Alright, now we need the this little shunter has nothing. It's got a medium motor, 2 gearboxes, bubkiss for controllers, got like that's like the Speedo, the world-renowned auto clutch. I don't know what that does. I think it's not sure. And then the an overdrive to make it go stupid fast. But it's basically a single-geared train. It's got basically the only other electronics is the rear gate, and it's literally got nothing on it. So yeah, let's get this done here. Now we get the come on. Yeah, there we go. Now, what we do, give it maybe 14%. Tap the starter. Okay, that's it. Now the Komodo and the containers there are at their destination, so therefore I need to pull them off the train and store that. So that'll solve that. Okay, throttled off, reverser on, hit the brakes. Clear the brakes, throttle up, easy, tap the starter. Okay, there we go. Yeah, this train does not have an idle. If you turn the throttle to 0, it turns it off. So, I mean, it's super easy. The red train actually uses the same system, but it's all automated. Where on this one, it's manual. Yeah, I know. I'm an asshole for jumping out of a moving train. Yeah, there we go. Take off the reverser. Give it about 14%. Apply the starter. And away we go. Yeah, clutches do not work on real trains because real trains deal with thousands and thousands of foot-pounds of torque, and that'll just you just can't you can't clutch that. And so, but on this train, well, I just use an auto clutch, and even though I have crap gears, just the auto clutch is I'm able to get it to work. So no problem. Yeah, give it a little more throttle. Come on, yeah. I don't think this train's strong enough to pull that thing any great distance. I only have less than 1,000 units of fuel on this train, but for this type of work, it's all I need. I mean, that thing has gone to the north before. I mean, if you set it at about 105 kilometers per hour, or 105 miles per hour, and get everything at the exact peak on that engine, yes, it'll go the distance. Oh yeah, it'll do it. But on carrying a load like that, well, it depends on whether it can sustain 100 miles an hour. If it could get up to 100, then it can do it. But if it can't, then it's just gonna wallow, or it's gonna. One of the issues is that the gear jump is so steep that it just won't make it over that hump, and it'll just keep getting kicked back into the lower gear, and that's really bad. So there you just have to back off the throttle and give up on going at any great distance. Alright, brakes off, throttle to, let's give it 20, yeah, 19's good, reverser on, apply the starter, there we go. Yeah, there we go. Kill the throttle, apply the brakes, release the release that, get the forward throttle, release the brakes, tap the starter, apply the brakes, kill the throttle. Okay, now here we don't want this rolling around, so we're going to use the, let's see, yeah, there we go, yeah. So we've applied the siding brakes, applied the handbrake on that, so that's good. It's not going anywhere. That's ready to use. Now let's take a look at our yard here, see what the situation is. I think Komodo is the biggest yard in the game right at the moment. I think Sawyer South is also about this side, but about this size, which it's so annoying to get to. Sawyer North, let's see how we want that. The game has a glitch that the first container it spawns always has the top connectors enabled. That's just a very minor little glitch the game has. Sawyer South, Sawyer South, Sawyer North. Spikes. Not going back to spikes. Problem with BVG is that you have to unload the train using equipment on the train, so therefore you need to use like the Crimwind self-loading cars, because that's not spikes, BVG, not BVG, not spikes, spikes again, Sawyer South, spikes, Sawyer South, Sawyer North, yeah, I want that. BVG, BVG, Sawyer North. Okay, 1, 2, still 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, okay. Let's see. Raise the front up a little bit and then get going. Press the button. Yeah, another player who joined the server, he wanted to help load containers, so he went over to those, which are not actually containers. They just look like containers. They're like part of the earlier part of the game from early on, and even though they don't function as containers, they're still there and they still confuse new players. So let's just give that little bit of feedback to the developers. I start thinking about how I'm going to pull the rest of the train to Sawyer North in decent time. I think I'm going to bring in a second locomotive. I'm going to bring in the... I'm going to bring in the Crazy Eights. It's another workshop build. I've massively overhauled the thing. And my version only has one forward truck there, where the normal version has two. I still have a single prime mover, but it's got a ton of features here. Turn all this shit on. Screen, cab light, track. I mean, that's the enable, and we're gonna go take the. This one's correct because it spawns with the brake on, but it's just another step I have to do. Turn the instruments on. It's got a moving seat, but I'm not using that right now. Yeah, I swapped out the radiators weren't working. I mean, the last time I was testing this thing, the engine exploded on me, and I'm like, what the hell? It's got like this. Got all this cooling hardware up there. Well, I stripped most of it out and I put in the new electric radiators, and they seem to be doing the job. So it's just how it has to be. Load. Let's see. Reverse on. Tractions are still powered up. This one at low speeds, this is a diesel battery electric, which means that it works on works on a motor controller instead of the engine throttle. And at high speeds, it can actually switch to a direct drive, because it switches out the generators at that point. It actually has an APU which will come online at that speed and power the train. I can also fire up that's the control panel for the APU, and I can power it up manually if I want to. It's yeah, all the containers I want are buried in the stack there, so think about this a little bit. I think the first one I can take is this second orange one, and I'll get to it by pushing the yellow one out of the way, and then grab the orange, and then problem is there's no logic to how they're stacked there. It's as far as I can tell highly randomized. One of the other servers on the network must have crashed, and everybody's looking for a new server to join, so they hit mine because I'm on it. Yeah, let's crash into the hazmat container there and spill all the stuff. Let's see what yeah, turn that off. Yeah, it looks like the server has to spit out data to each new player who joins, and then when it does that, there's a bit of a lag spike. Okay, looks like I have a row of two of containers, but no decent way to get at them. So I think I might have to do some trick lifting here. I want 3 containers. Okay, that's interesting. So the yeah. Yeah, this is what you get when you, Why the hell are you moving? the hell is wrong with the engine on this thing? This control... This makes no sense. Something is very, very wrong with the throttle, and there's supposed to be a throttle management system in here, and it is not functioning right now, and it's... I'm gonna have to stop this and debug this goddamn train. There's something seriously wrong in here. Let's see if I can find some instrumentation on this. Alright, that idiot's still trying to push the train from behind. I got brakes on three, the engine and and two cars. Got the brakes fully applied, so he is not gonna move this thing. He only has 2 sets of traction wheels, and I get brakes up and down, so screw him. Now the traction battery, the main battery's at 38%, which means the generator should be going crazy trying to fire this up. Now, all right, turn on the APU, turn on the APU power. This, all right, the APU's on. Now it's only seeing idle RPS, not full power. Now, what I can do is I can turn everything off and then turn everything back on again, and that should be a reset. Now, if it's functioning at all, it should throttle this up and get everything back to full power again, and it is not doing that, which means something is seriously fucked up on this train. So I'm going to turn that off because that's just bleeding power. And So the next question is what is fucked up on this train? Eh. Brakes. Mm-hmm. 3 cents of bogey stuff. Yeah, I gotta workbench this thing. The reset function should have brought the generators back to full power, but it did not, so I'm gonna have to see what in the unholy hell is going on here. Alright, now let's take a look at this thing. So let's use a dissection plane. So I got a huge mess of stuff in here. So this is what's called the prime mover, and that's where all the power comes from. Now the mode we were using it in just now and had the engine producing power, which was going up the yellow pipes here through a bunch of through the high efficiency gearboxes down to this pair of generators, which is the correct load for this thing. Now if I were driving the wheels directly, what it would do is it would go instead down the green pipes, down the green pathway, all the way here, which is the direct drive path, which I was not using. Now, what's controlling it? That's the master controller. That's the lighting controller. It's pretty stupid. That's the high efficiency generator controller. That's the let's see. This module right here is the power system controller. It is exactly the same as the one I showed you on the other, might have showed you on the other train. Well, actually on the loader. It's using exactly the same controller here. Now, how this is hooked up here, go into data mode. Alright, now it's reading the battery's state of charge off one of the batteries. I don't care. That's working. And it's taking the the ignition switch. So if either the APU is on or the master controller is on, it goes and turns the controller on. Okay, simple enough. Now, when the output goes to this switch box here. Now, when the train is operating in generator mode, it will take the output from the switch there, the output from the controller, and send it to the master throttle. Now, when the train is operating in direct drive, it does not use the generators. Instead, it sends the throttle control to the APU back here. So that's basically a controller. So if the APU is switched off, it will disable the control from the controller, and when it is switched on, I don't know why it's got a bang there, but when it's switched on, the signal from there goes to there, and then to the APU. Now, yeah, when it's in direct drive, the throttle source comes in from the it comes in from this controller here. This is normally to drive an electric drive train, and normally this train does operate in electric mode, and it's got an immense number of batteries. It's just an unbelievable number of batteries there. So it basically uses the batteries to control the throttle. Now, when it goes into direct drive mode, it overrides everything there, and but it's still using commands set up for an electric motor. So it has to take the absolute value of that, and that's how it drives the large engine. And then other channels come off of that and then drive the reversing gearbox. That's the reversing gearbox. So like if the signal is negative, it'll throw the reverser and the train goes backwards. So all of that's normal, and all of that's peachy keen. And the power system controller has not changed since ancient times. So the question is, why was this not stuck at a low state of charge? Now, the power system controller, drill down in here, has this PID controller. So when I turned off the pumps and everything switch, it should have turned that to off, which should have reversed this to nominal, and I think I might have a newer version of this controller, because this just clamps it between the legal values, which means the PID loop is left to go absolutely wild. Let's see what happens if I try to refresh this. So I'm going to load. Let's see, power system control. See the new version. It goes back here, so if the PID goes out of range, it'll reset it, where if the old one, it was just clamping. So I think I can solve my problems, because the new version has this auto reset function. I'm just going to go ahead and update the controller on here and save to that, and hopefully I have a working train. What the hell? So now the next problem is, what the hell? What in absolute hell is going out on this yard here? So this guy's running full throttle and he's burning all the fuel on that thing. What the hell is he doing? off. Turn it on. Okay. Gotta check my brake line pressure. Yeah, I can. Okay, I think the handbrake's off. You know what? This session's too messed up to continue playing like this. I think I'm gonna just call it a video, and even though everything's kinda messed up and strewn all over the place, I guess that's the price of bringing people onto the map. I hope the video is worthwhile, even though the yeah, that's the issue with this game. Like, you have like a dozen different locomotives, or you have a dozen different vehicles, 100 different vehicles, even though they're using the same controllers. Each one of them could have a different version of the same controller, and have bugs you fixed on ages ago. So, anyway, that's that, and I'll call it a day.